Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another 2024 election prediction. This time we have the 2024 House map for April 2024, just 7 months till the election in November. So, again, Democrats, I think, fare a lot better in the House than they do in the Senate just because the House map is pretty fair compared to where it was back in 2020. In 2022, Democrats did pretty well in the House. They nearly held it against all odds. They still ended up losing it. But let's just get right into this video here. We got a lot of toss-up races to go through. And I think we'll start off going through the East Coast. So in Maine, I also brought back the tilt rating because a lot of primaries have been decided, so we could get a fairly more accurate gauge here. So starting with Maine and Jared Golden, seen a lot of people doubting his ability to win, especially after he came out in favor of banning assault weapons. I do think there'll be more and more competitive districts. So far, I have Trump winning here by 10 and Maine second. So Jared Golden, he needs a lot of ticket splitters, but I still think he's going to end up winning. He has that incumbency advantage. His approval rating in the polls are actually still fairly high. So I still have this as a tilt blue race as of right now. I think he's going to hold on narrowly, but I think it'll be a more competitive race than it was in 2022, that's for sure. In New Hampshire, we have actually retirement with Ann Custer. She's not running for re-election here. That definitely hurts Democrats' chances here, but it's a Biden +9 district. So even if it's an open seat, I still have this as a likely blue rating. I still think Democrats are probably going to end up winning the seat. However, the first district will be a lot more interesting. It's more competitive. We have a fairly good Republican candidate running here, so this is why I'm putting this as a lean blue district. I still think Chris Papias is going to hang on here, but it's going to be more competitive than it was in the past. Going on to Connecticut, the 5th district, it's a lot more Republican down ballot. So I still have this as a lean blue rating. But again, it's interesting to see a Biden +10 district as lean blue, especially in New England, where Democrats fairly do well, but it's more Republican down ballot. It's just how it works. In New York, my home state. So here, Andrew Garbarino, he's going to win by a safe Republican margin. It's not going to be competitive at all. Leilota's district. It's interesting because Santos has announced a independent run for Congress in the 1st district. So that he's going to play spoiler to the Republicans here, and the Democrats have a fairly good candidate running here, a more moderate type of Democrat. We'd probably be able to make this race more competitive than usual, which is why I'm having this as a lean Republican rating instead of likely. Moving on to the 4th district with Anthony D'Esposito, I think he's done. It's a Biden +14 district. He's already endorsed Donald Trump here. He's not going to win over independents, and I just see him losing. He hasn't acted moderate enough in Congress to really stand a chance here. So I have this as a likely blue rating in New York's 4th. The 22nd district, it's a double digits Biden district at this point. Brandon Williams hasn't acted moderate enough in Congress to stand a chance at winning here, so I have this as a lean blue flip. And we have a few more races here. In the 18th district, Pat Ryan, I think he's probably going to end up winning by a likely blue margin. It's a Biden +9 district as well. He has incumbency advantage too, and I just think he's going to perform pretty well. Molinaro, he has a fairly decent opponent again. Riley's running against him in this district yet again, so it'll be a fairly competitive race, but I still think Molinaro is going to edge out the Democratic candidate here by a tilt Republican margin. Again, New York is more bipartisan in the upstate part of it. They're more willing to elect a Republican in a blue district. With Lawler, it's going to be a very competitive district. It is a Biden +10 district. He has acted very moderate in Congress. It's going to be a very competitive race here. But again, it's still, I think Biden's going to do pretty well in this district in the presidential election. And I think that'll be just enough for the Democrats to eke out a very narrow victory against Lawler in the 17th district. So that's pretty much my map prediction for New York. There's about 7 Republicans elected. Let's head to Pennsylvania next, if I could find it. There we go. So we have a few competitive races here. Starting off with the 10th district, I'm putting this as a lean Republican district. It's only a narrow Trump district. It's actually trending blue. So that's what I'm putting as lean Republican. The 17th district with Chris DeLuzzo. He's a very populist Democrat. I think he's going to end up winning here by a likely blue margin. These two districts, the 8th and the 7th. Cartwright and Susan Wild. I have these both as tilt blue districts. Cartwright, he's known for winning close elections. However, it's a Republican trending district, which is why it's going to be fairly competitive. Susan Wild, on the other hand, I'm probably going to put as lean blue. I think she's probably going to end up winning by a bit more than Cartwright does, and I think it'll be over a 1% margin. Do you think Cartwright's more in trouble because there'll be a lot of Trump voters coming out here that didn't come out in 2022? But I still think he's going to end up holding on here. He's a very populist Democrat. He does have crossover support with a lot of Trump voters as well. So I still think he'll get a decent amount of crossover support here in Pennsylvania. Let's see. I guess we'll go through the southern states. Louisiana, 6th district. It's pretty much a safe Biden district. Same with Alabama, 2nd. And Georgia's 2nd. I'm putting this as safe blue as well. Florida's 9th. I'm putting this as a likely blue district. Vincent Gonzalez in Texas, 34th. We're having a rematch here. I will be putting this as a lean. Let me just check out the margins there to be sure. I'm really hesitating between likely and lean. Yeah, I'll put it as a likely seat. It's still a Biden plus 15 district, but Biden's going to lose a bit of ground in South Texas, so that's important to keep in mind here. The 23rd district, it's only likely are because I'm pretty sure Tony Gonzalez is going to a runoff against Brandon Herrera, and he's a YouTuber, so that's kind of interesting to see a YouTuber running for Congress here. But that's a reason why it was shifted down to likely Republican. But I think Tony Gonzalez is going to win that runoff, and he's going to win by a safe Republican margin come November. Oh, yeah, North Carolina. We only got one competitive district here because Republicans gerrymandered the map so much in favor of them. The 1st district, we have an incumbent Democrat running in this state, and I think he's going to still end up winning here. It's a narrow Biden district, but I think Biden isn't going to do terrible in North Carolina. He's going to keep it within a lean margin either way, and I think Democrats are still going to end up winning that seat. Moving up to Virginia, we have Jen Kiggins here running for re-election. I think she's going to hold on, but it'll be a more competitive district. It is a Biden district, after all, by 2%. But so far, I think she's going to manage to hold on here just due to incumbency advantage. With Jennifer Wexton, it's a safe blue district. It's nearly a Biden 20 district. He won it by 18 in 2020. It's probably just going to be, it's an open seat. It's not going to be competitive. And Spanberger, she is retiring to run for governor of Virginia. She's probably going to be the next governor. But with Virginia's 7th district, it is an open seat. It's only a likely blue district, which is why I have this as lean blue as of right now. Be a bit more competitive. I guess we could do Ohio and Michigan up next because they got a fair amount of competitive seats. So starting off with the 1st district, I have this as the likely blue district. I don't think it's going to be that competitive. Landsman, he's an incumbent Democrat here. Captor, she isn't running against a, what's that guy's name again? J.R. Majewski. He dropped out of the race. So this race could get a bit more competitive, but Captor won by double digits before. So even against a fairly good Republican, I still think she's still favored here. She's a long-time incumbent in this seat. I think she ends up winning by a lean blue margin. Amelia Sykes, on the other hand, it's a narrow Biden seat by 2% or so, 2.8%, and Ohio's trending Republican. So this seat could be a target for Republicans to end up flipping. But I think I'll probably end up putting Ohio's 13th as still lean blue. Again, she has incumbency advantage. Sherrod Brown's running for re-election in the Senate race, so I could see Sherrod Brown somehow helping her out in the 13th district, turning out Democrats and maybe convincing some Trump voters to split their tickets in the 13th district as well for her. It's still a Biden district, so she really doesn't have the ticket split much there. Moving on to Michigan. We have a few competitive races here. John James is probably going to end up winning re-election by a bit more of a margin than he won last time around. The 7th district actually have this narrowly flipping back to Republican control. Trump's actually winning Michigan as of right now, in my opinion. And I think this district will flip along with Trump flip in Michigan. Dan Kildee, he is not running for re-election. It's a narrow seat, and I think it's going to be a tilt margin either way, but I still have the Democrats ending up winning that district. In Indiana's first, I have this as a likely blue seat. In Illinois 17th, I'm going to put this as lean blue for now. I think it could be decently competitive. In Iowa, these seats are just going to be lean Republican each. I just don't see the Democrats having much chances of flipping them. Wisconsin's third district, let's take a look at that. If I could find where Wisconsin is, I just keep missing it. There it is. Okay, Wisconsin's third. Derek Van Orden only won by a lean Republican margin last time around, but it's a pretty much nearly a likely Republican district, and he has incumbency advantage this time around. I'm going to put this as a lean Republican seat, though. I still think Democrats have a good shot at maybe making it a competitive seat. The first district, the Democrats are actually running a former congressman here in this district, which could make it a bit more competitive than usual, which is why I'm actually demoting it down to lean Republican. Even though he served back in the 90s, it's a very narrow Trump district, and with a serious opponent, Democrats might actually put funds into maybe the Democratic candidate here, making this a more competitive race. So I put that down to lean Republican. Moving on to Minnesota second, I just think it's a lean blue district just due to incumbency advantage, and Biden's actually performing a bit worse here. Tom Keene in New Jersey, it's a Biden district by about 4 points. He has acted fairly moderate in Congress, which I have this as a lean R district. Moving into Nebraska second, Don Bacon will be more competitive. We're having the Democrat nearly unseated him in 2022 running again against him. But due to incumbency advantage and ticket splitting, I think he's actually going to manage to narrowly win here by a tilt Republican margin. In Montana's first district, Ryan Zink, I think it's just going to be lean Republican. Even though it's a, let's check it out. I think Trump won this district by about 5, if I'm sure about it. No, he won it by about 7. But Zink, he underperformed to 4 in 2022, so I have this as the lean Republican district. But Democrats, it's a possible flip for them. It's in the range of possibilities here. Colorado is a bit interesting. We're having a ton of open seats here. Lauren Boebert's probably going to end up winning the primary in Colorado's 4th. But it's such a Republican district that it's really not going to be competitive come November. So it's probably a better strategic move on her part to switch to running Colorado's 4th primary, even though it may be a bit unorthodox, because I think she was actually going to lose if she went on to the general in Colorado's 3rd. But since she did the smart move of swapping seats, I have this as a tilt Republican hold. The Democrats are running their decent candidate, nearly unseated Boebert, back in Colorado's 3rd again. He's doing well in the fundraising numbers too, which is why I'm putting as a tilt Republican district. Lamborn, it's going to be likelier because he's not running for re-election and it's an open seat. Colorado's 8th with Caravo, it's probably going to be a lean blue district. I think Democrats will do fairly decent here. Going on to New Mexico, we're having a rematch again, but I think Vasquez, because Democrats gerrymandered decently in New Mexico, this is a lean blue hold. Moving on to Arizona, we have 2 competitive seats here. Cisco Mania, however, is a narrow Biden district, but it's literally 0.1. He has incumbency advantage. Democrats are going to try to win this seat, but I think he's going to hold on. Howard Swihart, I think this is the time he's going to get unseated. The Democrats' trends in the Arizona's first district, they're a bit much against him. I think Democrats are going to end up narrowly flipping the seat in their favor, because I also think Biden's going to end up winning Arizona at the end of the day. In Nevada, we got 3 competitive seats here. However, Democrats gerrymander this state. They give him a lot of likely blue seats. So Horsford, he's going to win by a likely blue margin. I just don't see Horsford losing here. I don't think it'll be fairly competitive either. Dina Titus, it's a D+8 district. Democrats did a decent job gerrymandering. Well, the 3rd district will be the more competitive one. I have this as a lean blue hold as of right now. Let's see. I guess we could go to California. They got a bunch of races here. Nope, I meant to click San Diego. Let's get a view of Los Angeles. All right, so we have three competitive districts in this seat. The 45th district is trending the Republicans' way. The right Democrat actually ended up winning the primary here. He'll be making this a fairly competitive race, which I only have this as a tilt Republican seat. The 47th district, on the other hand, they have a very bad Democratic candidate, and I'm pretty sure his name is Dave Min. He has like a DUI on his record, I believe, last time I checked, which is what makes him a pretty bad candidate. So I actually have this as a tilt blue race. I do think Republicans actually have a decent shot at maybe even flipping this seat come their way, because Katie Porter, she ran for Senate, which she probably shouldn't have because she got third place and lost her House seat. She probably should have stayed here. She could have made this a lean to likely blue seat for the Democrats. And now they have a very bad candidate running here that could put this seat in jeopardy. In California's 41st district, Ken Calvert, he barely won last time, which was pretty surprising. So I actually think in this Democratic trending district, Democrats have a fairly good shot at actually flipping here. Will Rollins, he is running against Ken Calvert again in a rematch, and I think he's actually going to end up winning now with more funds behind him. In California 27th, Mike Garcia won the primary like dominantly. So I think that dominance is going to probably translate into the general election. However, it is a very blue seat. Biden plus 12. It's a really tough for him. But I think he's going to end up winning here by a tilt Republican margin just because he's on a winning streak. I think he's going to manage to hold on, especially in the incumbency advantage. In California 27, there's a lot more down ballot Republican. In California's 13th and the 22nd district, these are double-digit Biden seats. I had the 22nd and the 13th as tilt blue, though. I think they'll still be fairly competitive swing seats, but I think Democrats are going to probably succeed in flipping them both in their favor. So they get 3 flips in California, while the Republicans hold on to 2 of their competitive seats. Moving on to Oregon, we have a few competitive seats here. The 4th district is a Biden plus 12 district. I think it's probably going to end up being safe blue come November. Salinas, it's probably also going to go down to likely blue because she only pretty much underperformed here by only winning by 2.5. But so far, I think she's probably going to do a bit better than last time around because it is a very blue seat. Chavez de Rimmer, she's in trouble. It's a Biden plus 9 district here. She did act a bit moderate in Congress as well, but there comes a point where I think she doesn't have enough wiggle room here. I think Democrats are going to probably end up narrowly flipping the seat back as long as they choose a good candidate. Let's see here. What states do we have remaining? Washington and Alaska. So Washington's third. It's interesting. It's a narrow Trump district. However, it's a rematch again. Joe Kenty's a terrible candidate, and Marie Perez actually has incumbency advantage on her side here. She's a blue dog Democrat as well. Moderate Democrat, which is a perfect fit for this district, and I have this as a lean blue hold as of right now. So moving on to Alaska, Mary Patola, she has a fairly good approval rating. However, one poll showed it as a 50-50 race at the end with ranked choice voting. So instead of her winning by a likely blue margin like I had before, I'm putting this now, demoting it to lean blue. I still think she ends up winning. She has such a good approval rating. I still think she has this seat pretty much on lock, but she isn't going to win by a landslide like she did before. So this is my current 2024 House map prediction with tilts now included again because this primary settled. Let me know what you think of this video in the comments down below. If you're new to the channel, I would highly recommend subscribing, but thanks so much for watching. Let me know in the comments down below whether you agree or disagree with this prediction. As of right now, I have Democrats narrowly winning back the House of Representatives. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.